So continuing with the model, I'm not going to spend too much time on the lower part of the model. It's basically the same. Everything that we've done so far, it's going to be in the same nature. The thing that I wanted to point out, though, goes back to that conversation about the bodybuilding and the synthol example, right? This is kind of perfect, right? Because we get to see those muscles being it's not even that they are extreme, it's just that they are no longer muscles, they are something else. They are some kind of a fruit inside of a leg, right? It's too much. It's a mango where there should be a muscle, right? It's not the silhouette, it's not the style, it's just something that is that is wrong, and I'm gonna be using that word here. It is, in my opinion, this is wrong. There is no excuse for that, right? The excuse that I've just mentioned. So we need to do something about it. We need to eliminate that mango, and we need to get back to what we are doing here. And what we're doing here is a some kind of a form, some kind of a structure, right, that will mimic, at the very least, the forms and the structures that we do know and recognize inside of the human body. So this is and here the knee, for example, that would be mostly anatomy, I guess, in here. So we need to address that as well. Just do something about it, something more beautiful in here, right? I'm not even sure how to address that quickly, but that needs to be addressed properly. But like I said, if I was to continue with this model, I would use exactly the same techniques, exactly the same tools, right? Damn standard to cut things out, to pronounce them, to make sure that I have muscles in all the right places. So for example, here, I don't know what that is, right? I've just removed the detail, and when I remove the detail, I see that there's a muscle of some sort, and it goes into the calf, right? And I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be, if anything, the muscles on the upper leg should go here, right? Tendon connects here, so we can. So there's mechanic behind it, right? There's a function behind this muscle, and muscles are on our bodies not to make other people fall for our beautiful bodies. They are there for purely mechanical purposes, right? So at the moment there is no mechanical functions that we that I can spot. So I would use the those tools for outlining, right, the muscles, to make sure that everything is reading well. So I would just connect things in here, right? The bone, where the bone is, where the other muscles are, right? Where this bone is, where it goes, etc. So then I would just fill it in, same brushes, same tools, right? Smooth out a whole bunch, and just move it in that direction. And so if we compare everything that we've done with the previous version, this is the difference. Not much, right? Like I said, there are things in here that I do like. The silhouette is somewhat strong. The accessories, I can go one by one through them as well, but that's not the point of the exercise, or I guess of the class altogether. But what I wanted to just point out, I guess, is the fact that, well, there are many things, but the first one, I guess the most obvious one, is that the detail tend to hide everything that is important, that is underneath, right? And so by eliminating that, we get to see the structure, and then we get to modify the structure in such a way that it becomes more pleasing, right? It becomes kind of tighter. Things are things are more interesting, things are flowing and going in better, just more natural is not the right word here, but they just look better. Let's keep it that right. Let's just keep things simple for once. Things just look better. Now the leg, look at the structure in here, right? That mango that I've pointed out. Just spending 3 minutes in there, right? That's how much I think I've spent in that place. That just makes it look better. That's it. So that's the exercise. That's the way I approach things, right? To me, the foundation comes from the form. It doesn't come from the detail, and the detail is never an excuse. It's never a well, let's keep it this way. It's not an excuse, and all the exaggerations that are done, they are never an argument, because it's not style, it's just exaggeration. It's lack of understanding, perhaps in some sense, but it's also lack of feeling, right? Of this kind of sense of what makes things look better. What makes you look at one thing and go wow, and what makes you look at other thing and just stay kind of numb, right? Just not being touched at all, right? So it's that kind of feeling that I'm talking about here, and what evokes that. It's definitely not detail. It's definitely not exaggerations. It's other things, right? More important things, and those things, even without the detail, they make the whole structure just so much more interesting, at least in my opinion.
If you enjoy this content or find it useful, please consider supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee via the link in the description.
So see if you can find a model. Maybe you can use a model of your own. See if you can go back to that if you want to, and apply any of the things that we've discussed here. It could be a good exercise. It can be tedious. I personally have done this quite a bit, not just taking somebody else's work and then just fixing, because that's just my part of my profession, I suppose. But there is a model that I've done 3 times in total, and just give me a second, I'm gonna show it if I do have it still. So that's the model. That's Earthworm Jim, and yes, I think I've done 3 versions of that. The second version was done from scratch, and this has been updated in 2011, I think. The very first one, I think I've started in 2005, 6. No, wait, that's a lie. 2007 or something like that. 2007 or 8. It's been a while, right? So this is what I've this is the updated version in 2011, and if I was to update it today, I would probably be able, most likely I would be able to spot something. But even back then, I was using mainly or mostly the same approach. The tools have definitely changed. I don't think there was any damn standard in here. There was no marvelous design to speak of. The things in here are very sloppy, but knowing the tools that we've discussed, we can actually fix it rather quickly, right? So this is the inflate technique that we have discussed, so that just fixes things quite nicely, right? This is a bit just too thick at the moment, right? The whole suit should look like it's at least in the way I read the suit is that it just layer on top of something else, right? Like a thin layer on a very muscular body, right? So this doesn't treat it that well, but it's definitely looking better than the original, which was that. And now that I look at it closer, and this is the first time I've opened this in many years, I can see just how much there can be improved. And perhaps it would have been much better example if I used my own personal model instead of taking somebody else's. But I guess in my head this was looking much better than what I see at the moment. But yeah, I would still use the very same tools, right? I would use the same techniques for this guy, and I would apply all of that onto him as well. So like I said, see if you can find something of your own, if you want to just quickly, you know, apply those things. Start something fresh if you want to. If you have work planned, just see if you can apply some of those things that I mentioned. If you don't have anything planned, open one of your older models and just work on some of the things locally. So for example, in that case, my case, I would work the hell out of this shoulder because it's looking nasty, right? Yeah, this is looking really nasty actually. But anyway, that's fine. So yeah, I hope this was useful. I hope this was illustrative and clear enough about the whole process, and just basically the kind of hierarchy of value, right? What comes first, what comes second, and that's it.